It's said that a good jab can take you around the world, but what all goes into making that perfect jab? There is a long list of all the types of jabs out there. I mean, you got a poppy jab, a flip jab, this jab, that jab. We're not going to go over all those. I just want to focus on the basic jab. And in that jab, I broke it down into 8 components, which I think could help everybody out in understanding how much goes into just one basic punch. Each part of the chain is super important, and if you can execute it right with the right timing, that's how you're going to get that perfect jab. Let's cue the intro real quick, and then we're going to get into the mechanics of the jab. There are so many types of jabs out there that it can get mind-boggling and hard to choose which one you need to use. But our basic jab is part of the fundamentals of boxing, and sometimes it gets underutilized. It might be a simple maneuver, but with 8 individual elements, if you don't train them, if you don't get that muscle memory in, then you're not going to be able to execute it as perfectly as you could if you would train it. So let's break down what these 8 steps look like, and then we'll look at a demonstration, and hopefully it will all come together for you. We have our step in, our extension of the arm, the rotation of the arm. You have to breathe. You need to tighten your fist before impact. You need to make sure that your chin is down. Your back foot needs to fall through, and then that front hand needs to come back to your face. And that should all be happening in the same amount of time that I can say jab. So let's break it down. That initial step in, right? That's gonna get us our range. We wanna be always outside of our range of our opponent's impact. The only time we wanna step in is when we're ready to engage. Remember, this step takes place at the beginning, but it ends at when you make impact with your opponent's face. So these steps kind of jump over each other and they happen simultaneously. Then you have that extension of the arm while that step is going, and while that's happening, what are we doing? We're rotating our fist. Why? To keep that kinetic line in chain. And if you want more information on this, you can check out this video and see why rotating your punches is so important. So while we're doing this, we need to breathe out, right? We need to get that hiss sound, that laugh, whatever you want to call it, but we need to breathe out to allow the snappiest and the most impactful punches that we can provide to our opponent, right? While also regulating our own gas tank, because we don't want to get burned out, and especially not over a jab. If you are getting tired after throwing 1 or 2 jabs, you are doing something wrong. Now we're getting even more into the timing of it. You know, we need to tighten our fist right before impact. You do it too early, now you're burning extra energy that you don't need to burn. You know, we want to be efficient. If you do it too late, you have the chance of hurting your hands. You know, your hand isn't really meant to be smashed into something. So tightening will help tighten all those bones, keep everything in line with the help of your wrap and your glove. And there you go, right before impact, tighten. They get a hard punch. Your hand's okay. You can keep fighting another day. This is one of those things that you need to drill constantly, over and over and over again. With every drill you're doing, you should be also focusing on tightening at the right moment, because that's the only way that you're gonna get those neural pathways in your brain ingrained so that it can just become muscle memory and you're just doing it without thinking. At this point, we should be at the point of impact, and we need to have our chin down. We're in range of our opponent. If we're touching them, there's a good chance they can touch us, and they can probably hit us with a hard shot. So our chin needs to be down, protecting ourselves, of course, with our backhand back, protecting ourselves as well. So we're at that point of impact, right? We got our hand out, we got our chin down, arms extended, it's rotated, we're breathing out. Now we gotta bring that back foot back in, right? We're moving forward with this jab. That back foot needs to come back in so we can get back to our base. We want to always be in our base. We don't want to be training to throw a couple punches, get out of our base, and then go back in our base, because that's what's gonna happen in sparring. That's what's gonna happen in a fight. You need to train to always come back to that base. Right when that foot's coming in, that hand's coming back to your face. We're back in our guarded position. You know, when we throw that punch out, there's an opening. That's why we're putting that chin down. That's why we're making sure that our back hand is right up by our face, and we're stepping in, we're bringing this hand back, getting right back into our defensive posture, or loading up for our next shot. Do you see why you have to drill and drill and drill this? You know, people think, oh, it's just the jab. It's just the jab. How effective is the jab? Is that a question I need to ask? If you're watching this channel, there's a good chance that you probably know that. Make this normal for your body to do, and it will become automatic to your body. And that's what we want to work towards, so that when you're in the ring, you don't have to think about it. It's just pop, 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 right? So that is the mechanics of the basic jab, right? And I hope you guys can take something from this video. Maybe there's a step that you want to incorporate. You know, maybe you have an argument to my jab, and that's fine. Let's talk about it in the comment section below, right? I just wanted to break the jab down because most people think it's just a straight punch, but there is so much that goes into it. And that's the case with all the punches. We got our cross, we got our hook. They all have little elements that you need to do to make it the most effective and most perfect punch that we can make it. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So if you want to master the jab, you better get to work. Don't forget to check out the Punch Club Media merchandise store. I'll put the link down in the description below. You can do this in between rounds, right? You're sitting at the gym, oh hey, might as well pull it up, look at it, see what they got. I'd surely appreciate it. Either way, guys, gals, ladies, gents, anybody watching this video, I appreciate your time. So thank you for watching Punch Club Media.